Alright guys, today we're gonna try something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about how I made my first $100,000, and no, the answer is not, I was not born rich, far from it actually. So I wanna share a little bit about that, and hopefully everybody can go and make their first $100,000 if you haven't done so already. Let's get started with today's video. Alright, so backtracking just a little bit. I actually was not born in the States. I was born in South Korea, not even in Seoul. I was born in Anyang, which is kind of like outskirts of it. Very, very average family, maybe even lower middle class-ish. But my parents decided to move us to Ghana. It's a city called Tema. It's a harbor city in Ghana. Shout out to all the Ghanaians if you're watching. They decided to move our entire family from South Korea to Ghana when I was 9 years old. It was pretty dramatic of a change, but you know, when you're still young, and so you just kind of tag along to where your parents are going. There were missionaries out there, meaning money really wasn't something they valued or that they sought after really. That's actually quite opposite of the direction that they wanted to go. And so growing up a very sometimes, you know, challenging environment, you want to eat something, you want to take certain lessons and so on. They weren't able to do any of that. I still love them very much for some of the life values that they've taught me. But financially, sometimes I just felt like it was lacking, and I couldn't ask them for things that were actually needs now that I think about it. So fast forward to 2003, I moved to the States. I think I was now I'm aging myself. I was entering 7th grade at that time. New to the States, moved to Texas. To all your Texans out there, learned English, all of that good stuff. And when I entered high school, I think it dawned on me that I needed to make money to not buy happiness, but to be able to support my family, basically. I mean, I was already thinking that when I was 13. It just kind of clicked for me that I needed to work hard, not for myself, but for my family. So I know that's not a very traditional way of thinking out in the West, but certainly not uncommon out here in the East. Then I graduate high school from this amazing city called Plano, Texas. And the first thing I thought about, so backtracking before I graduated, I was like, okay, not going to college, not an option in Asian households and period, unless I was like super talented in something, but I wasn't. And so going to college, now what major should I be picking? Hindsight, if somebody told me about computer science, that's probably something that I would have sought after because I loved math, but wasn't aware of such science. And so what I looked for was what's the most secure and what's a major that will get me a job no matter what, right? And so ended up picking accounting. And the school that I went to, University of Texas at Austin, hook 'em horns, had an amazing accounting program on top of it. And so it was as if majoring in accounting and having this kind of future ahead as an accountant was extremely sought after on campus. Hindsight, again, I think that was heavily biased just because of the amazing program that we had. If I majored in accounting in any other school, I think it would have been like, what a nerd, right? Well, how boring. So I was in that bubble. And at that time, Big Four was a big thing. So that's PricewaterhouseCoopers, KPMG, Deloitte, and Ernst & Young. It's been so long. Basically recruiting with them starting freshman year. And so I did internships with PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, for 2 years straight, and received an offer back to PwC in Los Angeles after graduating, which I was ecstatic about. Being in California was a dream of mine, being close to friends, being close to cultures that I wanted to be. And so I signed this offer. I mean, you know, now that I think about it, there's no really negotiation that really took place for, I was in grad school, so graduate student grads, because you're just offered one offer and everybody gets the same offer. And mind you, this is back in 2013. My offer, I believe, was $57,000 pre-tax. So post-tax, it's a heck a lot lower, especially living in California. You pay federal income tax, state income tax. That's more than my parents have ever made in their lifetime. Can you believe that? So I was ecstatic. I was working like dog hours. I was traveling Monday through Thursday. I was leaving LAX Sunday nights, get to the client, and when you're an associate, like entry level, they fly you to like the most randomest places, right? And I was out in New Orleans for like 6 months. So you fly out Sunday night, come back to LA Thursday night, you go to the office Friday in downtown LA, and you really just have like Saturday to hang. And but it was a decent, I feel like, experience, even hindsight. Yeah, we were, working again like dogs, like all day, every day. And as you guys know, when you're traveling for work, especially, you work more than like what you normally would because you're there for work, right? So we're like working, grab lunch, working, grab dinner, work, and then grab drinks, go to the hotel, work a little bit, go to bed, and then get up, go to the gym together with, other entry-level people, and then go to work. I mean, it was like work all the time for $57,000 pre-tax. So I was doing that for about 2 years, and I think all the travel and all that was not my cup of tea. I didn't really like flying all that much. It made me like nauseous. I didn't like the time zone difference and all of that, but I just kind of sucked it up, I guess. I was young. But this amazing opportunity came my way. What a blessing it was, where this company called Netflix, so this is now 2015, this company called Netflix, who purely just wanted to disrupt how TV was consumed, how media was consumed, transforming from a DVD business, came about and came knocking. They wanted to hire like a finance operations person, and Netflix at the time, I don't know about now, they weren't hiring people right out of school, and so this would be like sort of the lowest level hire that they had. I still remember this day, guys. I was in Catalina Island, and it's like maybe 30 to 40 minutes outside of Los Angeles. It's an island. People go there a lot. You just take like this ferry in. You get ferry sick, seasick, whatever. And I was partying in Catalina Island with a bunch of my PwC colleagues. I think it was like the partner, like was celebrating something. Maybe he made partner from director, something like that. And then I get a phone call, and thankfully service was available. Shout out to AT&T in that island. And I get a phone call from Netflix, and the recruiter, I still remember, Ashley, she was like, "Hi Hannah, we would like to extend you an offer." And I was like, great, like I'm having a good time already, like, and you're taught like, right, in business school to like negotiate, like never take one thing and then just like accept it as it is. I know it's like really jacked up, it's really screwed up, but like we learned this in like our negotiation class, is like, say, thank you for the offer, let me think about it, whatever, and then I'll get back to you. And literally, I'm making 57. Okay, I started with 57 and then I like got promoted or whatever, so I was probably making like 70K. Not even like that much more. This is all pre-tax as well. And guys, I'm not saying 70K is not a lot, but hindsight, get a call from Ashley from Netflix, and she's like, "We have an offer." I was like, "Great, thanks for the offer." And she's like, 115K. That's like almost double what I was making. Maybe not double, but it was definitely over 50% increase in salary, like overnight. And I was like, wait, how much? I was on an island, maybe like a glass of wine or two, and it's like, I like stuttered. I was like, 115? Like, if I had stayed at PwC, kept getting like good ratings, got promoted like early, whatever, it would have probably taken me an additional 3 to 4 years for me to even make 100K. I don't know what it is right now, but back then it was. So I was like, 115K? She's like, yeah. I like literally said, I will do it. There was no negotiation. There was no like, it was a Friday. There wasn't like, I will think about it. I was like, yes, send me the DocuSign, please. So that's how I made my first 100K plus, I guess, 115K when I was 23 years old. It's a huge blessing. The lifestyle was just not for me. I was not cut out for that kind of, 100% travel, like work like dog all the time thing. I could do it because I was young, but I knew that it wasn't going to be permanent. And so when this came to the door, I immediately took it. I mean, there was zero hesitation. I was like, no brainer, 115, I'll do it. I mean, that just automatically means that like at that time for me, right, if I kept my lifestyle the same, I can save like an extra 30 to 40K. You do that for 2 years, you can put a down payment on a house and so on and so forth. Like that's how I was thinking, and that's classic, right? Like middle class or lower mid class mentality, like trying to break out of poverty. So that's how I made my first 100K. And some of you might be like, okay, like you made 115K salary for that, like, you know, post-tax, it's less than that. Yes, but did I tell you about Netflix's amazing employee stock options? I don't know if they still offer it because it was a killer deal. You basically get a huge discount. At that time, I think it was like 40 to 50% discount on employee stock options, which, you know, value back in 2015 for Netflix was like peanuts, like compared to what it is now. It was like before all these stock splits and stuff like that. So, you know, I was young and I had good advice from my then boyfriend, current husband, who, you know, just really advised like, okay, you're gonna just stash away your 30K savings, or you could really bet on this company. Do you believe that it can disrupt how TV programming is traditionally done, where like people just sit around to wait for their favorite show to turn up, or where viewers get autonomy of when to watch and how long they want to watch certain programs for. And yeah, I truly believed in it. Before Netflix, if you remember, we could never real-time stream anything. We had to wait, literally, like put a timer on our phone, like 9:30, like this is when the show is starting. I better be in front of my TV or else I'm gonna miss it. So a lot of times you miss the show, right? You're out at dinner, out at social events. And so he was like, if you believe in it, like you should now invest in the company as well, not just work for them. So I was like, okay, fine. So because I was still single at the time, really minimum expenses, I was like renting out a room. And that's the key of my life, is I keep all expenses low. Like for example, this t-shirt, Lakers basketball, bought this in college. A lot of the t-shirts that I have, they're from school, and it's like a good reminder for me to like stay humble, know where I came from. It's a constant reminder. So I keep my life expenses decently low comparatively. I wouldn't say my lifestyle like changes because my earning power changes. It really doesn't work like that. So yeah, he really encouraged me to dump all my basically discretionary income, which was a lot at that time because I didn't have any spendings, into this employee stock option program. And the rest is history. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is this is how I made my first $100,000 or $115,000, and the rest is history. I can share more about the progression of my earning power over the years if you are interested, and I will gauge that by the view of this video. When did you make your first six figures? Or if you haven't done so yet, how are you planning? How are you working towards that goal of making your first six figures? Leave those in the comments below. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.